Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to reading class today. We are going to be taking a look at the story, The Sign Maker's Assistant. It starts on page 332 in your reading book. You will need to get that, and I would love for you to have your reading or writing notebook if you have that at home, or you need a piece of paper. We're going to talk about some of these vocab words, and we're going to use them in sentences. So if you could go get that stuff, you'll obviously need a pencil to write with as well. Okay, so go ahead and get that, pause the video, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, welcome back. All right, so we are going to take a look at some vocabulary words for our story today, and we are going to use them then in sentences. So the first word is sign maker, and it means it's someone who makes signs or public notices that give information. Pretty self-explanatory, right? We're talking about the word sign and maker, and that kind of makes sense. So do you think we're going to read about sign makers today? You betcha. All right, number 2, assistant. An assistant is someone who helps someone else with a job. Okay, so in our story, since it's called The Sign Maker's Assistant, we're going to talk about someone who is helping the sign maker. Number 3, the word is wisdom. That means knowledge, usually based on experience. Wisdom is something you get with age. So the older you are, the more wisdom you should have. Number 4, feverishly. That means to be done. This is an adverb, by the way. It means to be done with great excitement or activity. 2 more words. We've got the word hoard, which is a verb, and it means to collect items and store them away, usually great quantities of items. And often it's done secretly without other people knowing. Right as this pandemic was hitting, a lot of people started to hoard toilet paper, which is why it's hard to find it around in the stores nowadays. Okay, number 6, protest. It means to tell or show how you disagree about something that you feel is not right. And we'll read about protests that happens in this story. Okay, now what I would like to do is I want to take these 6 words and we're going to put them into sentences. You can leave yours in your storybook. I'm going to tear this out just so that I can look at the words and we can use them to write a sentence. Okay, get it situated so you can see it all. All right, so the first sentence we need to use the word sign maker. So I'm going to use that as my subject noun. I'm going to use an article adjective, the sign maker. Don't you love how we can use English in our reading class? The sign maker made, there's my verb. Now we've got some phrases in here. We haven't learned that in English yet. But the sign maker made a sign for the school, let's say. Now, you will learn later that this is a direct object and that this is a prepositional phrase. You don't have to know that yet, though, boys and girls. Okay, so the sign maker made a sign for the school. Good sentence. Now let's use our second word, assistant. I'm going to start with an article adjective again. I'm going to do a sports thing. The coach's assistant ran the drills at practice today. Okay, so we've got our verb there, right? Coaches is actually an adjective. It's telling you which assistant, right? Remember, adjectives tell which one. The drills, that's that direct object. At practice, that again is a phrase, but here you know this word. Today is an adverb. Good job. Number 3, wisdom. My grandmother has great wisdom about how to save money. Now, my grandma really did have that wisdom when she was still alive because she lived through the Great Depression, which a lot of people lost their jobs, kind of like now. So there was very little money and they made do with very little. And that's kind of how she lived the rest of her life. She always saved things until it was necessary to buy it. Okay, number 4, feverishly. Ooh, I like that word. It's an adverb. It's a colorful word, right? A purple word describes how somebody did it. We're going to talk about you. The students worked. So that's my verb. So my adverb is going to come next. Feverishly to get their project completed. There. Love that word. You know what I forgot to have you do is underline all your vocabulary words. So underline sign maker, assistant, wisdom, and now feverishly. 2 more sentences and then we're going to read our story. Number 5, hoard. We'll go ahead and use my example. Many people began to hoard toilet paper at the beginning excuse me, of the pandemic. That's a big word, isn't it? Okay, so underline the word hoard. Good. One more. Now, boys and girls, I know I'm going pretty fast. You can always pause the video so that you can get these sentences copied in your notebook. Okay, so don't feel like you have to keep up with me or you're lost. Okay, so just pause it. You can see all my sentences at once and you can get caught up. All right, one last one. Protest. We decided to protest that our bedtime was at, let's make it really early, 8 o'clock. There. Underline the word protest. All right. Good job. When you get these sentences written, you can have somebody take a picture and send it to your teacher. That would be great. Okay. And I'm going to end this video and then we're going to start one with the story. See you soon.